destination is on the left.
Got Dave and myself. We want to get back out there and meet as many of you as we can possibly meet. And get the interviews from those of you mainstream media has been ignoring. We're not going to ignore you.
And welcome to episode 9 of the Love America Tour live stream. And we're going to get right into it because we have got so much to try and slam into tonight. I'm seeing all kinds of folks in the chat. Welcome aboard. But like I said, we're going to get right into it. Remember that these are no longer about fundraising, as the GoFundMe has been capped off and everything. If you want to, you can still donate to the live stream through streamlabs.com/LoveAmericaTour, which goes straight into the production account. It's more about, do you know someone who could benefit from this live stream, from the interactions on social media of the Lat Fam? And if you do know somebody like that, invite them. Do you know somebody that's always positive? Invite them. Let's get a bunch of folks together and compare notes and get going. Cookbook, recipes. We have our guest today. Our follow-up interview is Ryan Albrecht, and he's the fella that's kind of heading up the Love America Tour cookbook. I will be sending in the crockpot breakfast burrito recipe. I forgot to do that, but it was one of the things that the crew enjoyed while they were here, so we'll definitely do that. Getting straight into it, last week we talked about avoiding the words "I can't." Avoiding thoughts like "I don't have a choice," which we've been conditioned to do. We've been conditioned to think reactively, and when we think reactively, it puts us in our sphere of concern, which is the sphere that causes the worry and anxiety, because that's the stuff that we tend to dwell on, that we don't have a whole lot of control over. And we talked about getting the sphere of concern to the same size or smaller as our sphere of influence. And today I want to talk just a little bit about how to do that. One is, let's look at this as a journey. To break a habit and to make new habits takes 2 to 3 months. So this is why I've been putting out reminders daily on Twitter, is because the negativity tries to seep in all the time to everybody, and you have to stamp that out. And sometimes it takes a reminder if it's not a habit yet. So that's all that is. And it's an encouragement to maintain a positive mindset. And let's get going here. How do you shrink your circle of concern? How do you stop worrying about stuff that you don't have control over? Well, one of the things that we mentioned in the last live stream was somebody had asked the question, what's your favorite set quote and why? And the first thing that came to my mind is where attention goes, energy flows. So the way you shrink your circle of concern is to stop feeding it. Try to stay out of that circle. Get into the habit of not giving it energy and attention, and instead focusing that energy and attention on things you do have control over. The same onslaught of stuff that keeps us in reactive thought that we've talked about also keeps us in our sphere of concern, and that promotes anxiety and worry and fear. And what we have to do is get out of that and stop feeding it. Take time to process your thoughts. Unplug if you have to from social media. Shut the news off, shut Twitter and Facebook off, and just take 15 to 30 minutes to breathe, to allow your mind to process all the information that it's been getting, and then spend your time and energy focusing on your circles of influence and control and feeding them. So how do we increase our circles of influence and our circle of control? it seems it's kind of actually counterintuitive a little bit, because we tend to want to push. We're thinking if we push out, that's how we make the circle bigger, because it's got, and it's not the case. You want to go introspective. The most concise way that I can say to increase your circles of control and your circles of influence is to increase your control of self. You go introspective. You learn that you are the only person that you have full control over. You are the only person that you can, without a doubt, change. So you get to look in and look at yourself, and how do you go? Where do you go from there? Learn how to listen. Learn how to truly listen to people, because when you do that, and when you ask questions, and this is one of the things that Corin showed us how to do from the very first interview of the Love America tour, is learn how to get in the shoes of the person that you're talking to and walk a mile or two. This enables you to kind of learn their point of view, which, as we mentioned last week, gives you another point of view that you can look at the issues that you are experiencing, and it gives you a better chance of solving those issues. Take time to process. Original thought now, not reactive thought. Take time to process all the information that's coming in. That will help so much in expanding your circles of influence and control. And there's things that you can do as far as empowerment versus the victim mentality, in that instead of asking questions like, why is this happening to me, or why is this going on in the world, and those are questions that promote a feeling of helplessness and fear. Get out of that circle of concern, stop feeding it, get over into the circle of influence and start feeding that. Ask questions like, how can I make this better? I mean, yeah, it sucks sometimes, the situations that we find ourselves. If you get dealt a bad hand, that sucks. But asking, why is this happening to me, really puts you in a position of weakness. Whereas asking a question like, how can I make this better? Empowers you. Now you're taking control of the situation in a positive fashion with a positive mindset, and you're not helpless anymore. So another way, appreciate others. The gratitude, and we'll get into gratitude as empowerment in another chapter, but appreciating others. The most surefire way to get happiness is to give it. Learn about other people. Learn the way that they look at things. Share the way that you look at things. And in so doing, we get the benefit of more and more points of view that we can learn about, that we can use to solve problems. I apologize, I'm tripping over my words here because I'm trying to get through a lot of material, and boy, do we have a whole bunch. We're going to continue this, this coming Wednesday, and we'll review a lot of this in more detail, because we really don't have a whole lot of time today. But one thing, this is going to be homework, okay? Have a destination. What is it that you really want? And everybody thinks they know what they really want. We'll talk about how to get to where you really want in the next chapter, but you hear people say, well, I want a new car. What kind? What year? What make? What model? What color? Well, I want to find love. Okay, get more specific. I want money. How much? When? These are the kind of questions, and when you start asking yourself these questions, most people have an idea of what they want, but they've never really defined it. So have a destination. And, that's what I would encourage you guys to do. In addition to the things that we've been learning up to this point, staying out of your circle of concern and in your circle of influence, reducing the number of times you say I can't or negative things about yourself, and and getting into the positive questions like how can I make this better rather than why is this happening to me. But in addition to that, think about what you really want. Like, what do you want most of all? For some people it is money or resources or something like that. For some people it's love. For some people it's a certain kind of house. And you think about prosperity. Prosperity isn't just money, and it's not just love. True prosperity is all of those things combined. And so you want to get into, really dig into, what is it that I want in life or out of life. And that's it. So let's real quick go to the chat as I scroll up, because you guys have been really active. Hello, everyone. Let's see. We've got a lot of folks saying hello and everything. I'm scrolling down. Bonnie Bell says that's right. We can only control ourselves and should. And actually, the more control that you have over self, the more control you have over the situation around you. And you'll find that the more control you have over self, your circle of control actually expands. It's amazing. Melissa Cox says, whenever you find yourself doubting how far you can go, just remember how far you have come. That's a good thing. You don't want to spend too much time looking back into the past, especially not if you're kicking yourself for it. But it's good every now and again to take a look back. You put in all of this effort and you take all these steps forward. Every once in a while, take a look back and see how far you've come. That can be very motivating to continue. Luisa says fear is a crippling factor. It is, and most of the time the fear and anxieties and worries that we feel are self-made, and they're due to our perceptions, and they're not real. Some of them are, but most of them are not really. Bonnie Bell says yes, write that check to yourself. Jen Lyle wanting some fresh ink. Me too. Louisa, I just want peace in my life. Okay, so define peace. What do you mean by peace? What do you mean by ink? What kind of ink? How much ink? Really get specific. Really get specific. What we've got coming up is a little bit, we're going to take some time to talk to Ben and Corin specifically about what is going to happen with the LOVEstream, with the Love America tour going forward now that the funding goal has been hit. So I am going to get them in here in just a second, once I find them. Ben may not be quite ready, and I'm not sure which one it is, but I'm going to go ahead and invite them anyway and just see. I apologize that that we haven't actually been able to go into this in depth, but we definitely will shortly. I probably ought to put these on so I can hear them. All right, give us just 1 second, and we're going to bring Ben in. Hey, Ben.
Hello, everybody. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. I've got Corin invited, but okay. He hasn't accepted yet. So it looks like he's trying to.
That's all right. I was listening to your whole comments on, placing things ahead of yourself and setting goals, and it made me think actually about when Corin had called me up and said, "Hey, I want to get you on board," and he was going through moments where he couldn't see out of the trees, and it's exactly what you're talking about, where you look at, maybe sometimes you have to look at the bigger picture, the road down the road, to know that you're okay getting there. The end does justify the means sometimes. So, being there to help him through this, particular in this production, and making this into a movement has definitely been profound in understanding that, and really makes a good feeling when you're able to provide that.
Your audio cut out there at the last second. I think it might have been wind, and it might have been. Nope, it was me. Hey, Corin, how you doing?
What's up, buddy?
Brother.
What's
I
happening?
actually can't hear how you're doing because I'm having technical difficulties, but that's okay because I'm fixing to fix that.
Corin,
Husky, enemy boy.
You look nice and relaxed there in Mississippi, sir.
Oh man,
You
you
guys-
know.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What were you guys talking about?
He's trying to figure out his headset.
You
So if
guys,
hear
I
me,
can't
Corin-
hear you. I'm having technical difficulties, but this segment is all about you two anyway. If you guys want to tell us, what does the future of Love America Tour, what is the future of Love America Tour?
Well, right
Corin?
now, it's about putting together what we have and making something that kind of tells the whole story as much as we can do it. And we may end up having to do a few reshoots here in Mississippi, if we need to. And I'll have to do a final follow-up, interview about the whole entire thing. But mainly it's, I mean, we have over 24 hours of footage to go through, and it's so.
Oh, we've lost sound, guys. Hang on. Give me 1 second.
That has to come together here, and
the back end's huge. A lot of people only see the front end harmony of everything, and we want to always show that good face when we're out there.
Guys,
and,
I don't know if you can hear me or not, but they can't hear you, and I am desperately trying to get this fixed.
oh, they can't hear anything, huh?
I can hear you, Corin. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine, buddy.
I don't know if we can hear. I wonder if everybody can hear us, but
And I can hear
us.
Husky.
I can hear Husky.
Yeah.
So let's assume that everybody can hear us. So just for everybody out there, we really want to make this into the movement. We really want it to go forward. And what we're trying to do is the reason why we stopped the fundraising is because we need to catch up with what we owe you, other than what we've been continually doing. And all these stories are so good, but the real story that we also want to tell is that relationship between Corin and his wake moment and those through lines. Where does that story take us? And that's the other part that we want to owe to you. And that's the leverage we're going to use to get back on the road again. And it's going to be fun when we go out again, because we'll have different things like, say, what do you want to pay for gas? We'll do a fundraiser just for fuel, and you'll be able to see, we got this much fuel, and you'll be able to know where that's going to. It's a little more, indicative and understanding of what we're going to do, and better laid out too. Forethought on where we're going.
Oh Lord, the fuel costs were something that I completely didn't expect. That was brutal. That was brutal.
You know, it'd be funny if I found out that actually just you and me talking. Huskey's actually gone. We're just you and I are having our own Zoom.
Chad just got in town today. Chad said that he can hear us fine on the live stream. So
Yeah, we lost sound for just a second, but I'm back. You're back. I don't know how far you guys got into what's the future of Love America tour, but
we got you back. We got you back, Husky.
It's you know, again, I mean, just going through all of the footage is like it's so much, but that's what's amazing about it. With all due respect, is that, in that 3 week or 3 week and some days time, we were able to get over 24 hours of footage just on interviews alone. That doesn't even include all of the other stuff that was shot, like stuff when we were driving down the road, or stuff at different campsites, or this or that, so I mean, it's amazing. Really, it's amazing.
So the future, because some of these folks you guys did break up. Just really quick to recap, the future of Love America tour is getting the film. I kind of understand it in my head, but I don't know the words, Ben.
Well, the idea is that we are creating a product which will continue the whole show. So by taking all this content and making not only the channels and the playlists for everybody cleaned up, so we'll have the original raw, we'll have a cleaned up version, and then we'll have a 44-minute biopic of the interaction between Corin and the story that goes through. And those are all the different things. So we try to sell off the biopic, take that money, flip that into the new production as well as the fundraising, and then we're on the road again. We have better equipment. We try to get 5 people to cover all this, so the talent can actually go and do these interviews without having to try to figure the rest of it out. And we really want to bring that. But as far as the online stuff goes, the streaming idea is that this is going to become global. It is a movement. Bobby Ben will talk about this later with some of the things that have gone on. But the point is that if we can create something streaming level, whether it's like a Twitch stream or whether we have our own platform to do streaming and let it grow with different channels, by Much More Gooder Studios as being the main one, you can have different channels, different nights of the week about things that matter, care, empowerment, all these good things, art, graffiti. There's so many streams out there that we could culture on an organic basis that fits into the Love America tour, that it's a whole world love, like, for one world, if you will.
We can start bringing in some guests even from further away than where we have. That's going to be awesome. I love it. I freaking love it. So this is pretty cool. Now, I know you guys didn't budget a lot of time, Ben. I know you're at your nephew's birthday party. Thank you so much for taking the time out, because you know me. I haven't learned enough to know these words, to understand the process. I am learning. Thank you for being patient with me, but Ben already knows this stuff, so.
How old's your nephew, buddy?
Without you. Is 19 today. I got 2 19-year-olds, so they're trying to catch up to my daughter, who's 21. September 1st, she turns 21.
Yep.
I feel this gray is just getting longer. Awesome. But thank you, everybody, for having me on briefly. Corin, I'm going to leave it with your safe hands, and with
buddy, love you.
Bill, and you guys go off. I think it's going to be some good things tonight. We'll talk to you soon.
We've got
love you, America.
Thanks, Ben. All right, we've got Ryan Albrecht is going to join us. So while I'm getting him on, I'm going to go ahead and actually I'm going to play the intro that I didn't make. I didn't make this one. Michelle Arwood made this one for me. So we'll go ahead and play that one right quick, and we will be back ever just so shortly.
The nation is on the left.
Nice to meet you, man. Look at this.
Oh boy.
What's up, man? I've had a lot of health issues over the past couple of years. I got really sick in 2013. I was hospitalized, and just issues with my heart. And I think that the health issues came from is mostly sleep apnea. I'm diagnosed sleep apnea, and if I hadn't gone to the hospital, I wouldn't be here.
Really?
So
See, I don't really know what sleep apnea is exactly. I mean, I hear it
it's
often,
where you
but
don't sleep. It's basically you have obstructed air passages and you basically suffocate. I guess that's the best way to put it.
oh wow.
Yeah. So you'll gain weight, you'll be tired.
Because you've gone through the medical challenges and all of that, you know, that there has to be, you know, something that drives you and keeps you positive, all of that. Is there something that you could share with everybody that somebody out there might be able to take home with them, you know, as a positive message about overcoming difficulties?
A lot of stuff that I've dealt with, I've made it through because of her. And the large reason I do it is because of her.
That's great. And that's a beautiful message. And that is a beautiful way to end this. He will deal with the pain to be with her. I love it, man. Thank you so much for sharing some of your life with us.
Absolutely.
And here we are with Corin Nemec and Ryan Albrecht. Ryan, thanks for joining us. How are you doing today?
Doing all right. How are you, Bill?
Oh, getting there, turning the page.
I was fully expecting Ryan to be like chowing down on like a pile of baby backs while we were doing this interview. I'm a little disappointed that you don't have barbecue sauce all over your hands and face.
It's funny that you say that because Jill, my wife, actually got Rudy's barbecue. She got some for lunch, and we had enough left over for dinner. So
Nice.
I had it about an hour and a half ago. So I did have some ribs.
Oh man. Well, you know, I like Rudy's is a good chain restaurant for barbecue for sure.
It is. I do like Salt Lick here in Austin a little bit better.
Salt Lick is
But you got to
Yeah.
go to the one in Driftwood, not the one by Round Rock.
yeah, or the original county line out there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a nice spot too.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been out there where you used to eat with the picnic tables and
I
it's
don't
all
think I have
pineapple?
been.
Oh, okay.
No.
It's weird place. I haven't been there in ages, but you know, it seemed like it was like part of an old barn or something that they turned into a barbecue place or something. Great though.
You know, I've heard of weirder things in Texas. So
How's life for you, man?
it's okay. My foot is now healed from the surgery, so I'm able to actually go out and go to the gym and do more, and I'm doing more around the house. So I take that as a marked improvement.
Oh yeah, that's huge. And are you doing a specific rehabilitation regimen for the healing?
No, there's really no rehab for
okay.
it. No, I don't
Yeah.
believe the doctor said there was going to be any. So yeah, just getting up, going to the gym, and working out the kinks.
That's great, man. I'm happy for you though that you're going to the gym. Happy that everything turned out well with that surgery and everything else, you know. And
Me
family
too.
good?
Yeah. My wife's doing great. My cousin is doing well in school. She just started the fall semester, so everything's humming along. We've got 2 weddings this fall and working on the cookbook, and
Nice.
we got a lot going on.
I love it.
That actually brings me into the list of things that we wanted to follow up on. Obviously, we're going to get back around to the Love America tour, but in the whole journey of bringing negativity to positivity, in your first interview, you mentioned that there's some chronic pain and some chronic illnesses, and we have that in common, not the same ones, obviously, but when you suffer from that, and a lot of people do, it's so easy to slip into the negativity and slip into the into just a daily downward slide into the negative. How I was wondering if maybe you wanted to expound a little bit on where you get your positivity from, because in the chats and everything, you're one of the most positive voices that we have. So where do you get your motivation?
I got to be honest that my wife is 100% my source of strength. Whenever I hurt, I mean, even if she's tired, she'll take care of me. And the great thing is me and her have a similar type of humor, and you know, just humor, and you know, her willing to help me out, and that's what keeps me sane. And you know, for her, I'll take anything, man, as long as it means a little more time with her. So,
yeah.
I love that. I love that. And I admire that so much. And being anybody who can navigate the waters of good relationships. I myself, especially because of the lifestyle that comes with acting. That just means in terms of travel and stuff like that.
yeah.
The amount of time that I was always having to go away from the house was, I mean, it was just so tough on the relationship and any other kind of relationships I tried to get into after I was after I was divorced. It's
Yeah.
like, but this career, it is horrible on relationships. So I admire that, man, because I know that those kind of connections, the camaraderie, the partnership, the mutual support, that is a huge plus in life when you know that you have someone who's fighting on your team every single day of the week,
Yeah.
as hard as you're fighting, and that's beautiful. And having been to your place and I got to meet you and your wife and everything. You guys live a good life, and and I like your style, buddy.
Thank you. You like the man cave, right? The Ryan cave.
I love the man cave.
Yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about that? You mentioned, when we were talking the other day, that you're very much into like gaming and PC building.
So I do like to build my own PCs. I always buy HP laptops. I like the brand, but when it comes to desktop computers, I build my own. Nothing crazy. I don't go crazy on the budget. I try to keep it as modest as
So it's
possible.
not like in the middle of the night. You're not raising a laptop up through a hole in the ceiling and it being struck by lightning, and you're like, it's alive. It's alive.
We don't talk about it. No. It's fun. I like to, I can decide what's in there. I don't have to rely on going to Dell or Alienware. I guess that's the same thing because it's owned by Dell. And pick what parts they want. I can look at the different stores and find the parts I want and find the prices I want and go from there. That, and I do like gaming, more Xbox than PC. My other cousin Colton is a huge PC gamer. I just like the simplicity of an Xbox console. Everything kind of just updates itself. So it's mostly a convenience factor. But yeah, I do like the game. It's a fun thing to do with nephews, when they're miles apart. And you can just play over the internet and spend time with them that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, when my son was playing more simple games, like Pirate 101 or something like that, I would game with him from California. Basically it was just my character, my avatar running around following his avatar the whole day.
Yeah.
Whatever, just backing him up. But once he got on into the the Xbox gaming and all of that, I can't work those consoles. It's just.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because I did let one of my nephews borrow the Nintendo Classic we have, and it has like 20 or 30 games from some of the original lineups of Nintendo. And he can't beat any of them. And he could beat Halo, he could beat Call of Duty, he could beat all that. But regular Nintendo games, no, not happening.
Wow. So. That's funny.
It is funny. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got to it. Oh, they have one of those out in Spring, Texas. Where I had been living all this time.
Yeah.
There's an old school arcade. Where they got all the old school arcade games and everything there. Oh man, I still have it. I still got it. I can still I can still shred on some Centipede or Space Invaders, and I'm like, I still got it.
So we actually have something like that here. It's called Pinballs. They've got a couple locations around Austin and Buda. And they have a lot of the old games, but they really have a really nice collection of like classic pinball machines and more modern, from like the 80s to, current. So yeah, I love a good pinball machine too. So I won't lie, there was one down by Spectrum where I used to work, and they had the old Star Wars game from the 80s with the vector graphics, and they had a Nightmare on Elm Street pinball machine, and I regressed to a 14-year-old boy and just went to it. So, I like it. I like those old games. They're fun.
We got about 5 minutes before we're joined by Bobby Ben and Chad, the Chad, Business DJ. Real quick, I wanted to ask you, Ryan, what's been your experience since the first interview with the Love America tour? What have you enjoyed? What are your thoughts on going forward? Some of the announcements that we heard earlier today. What's been happening with you, Love America tour wise?
I like the sense of community. It's nice to see Twitter is not a hellhole of politics and anger that it seems to be, because it's real easy to be just virulent and mean and nasty over the internet, and Twitter and Facebook and maybe even Instagram can be good outlets for those. And it's nice to see a lot of people getting along and being supportive of one another. That's just really nice. So as for going forward, I'm really happy that we met the round 2 goal. I'm looking forward to seeing other goals either being met or exceeded, and I would love to see it go global. I'd love to send Corin and Chad across the pond, and
heck yeah, man, that would be amazing.
Get interview from Europe or wherever. I mean,
now you've been heading up a project for the Love America tour, have you not? You want to say anything about that?
So yes, some of y'all may not know. Well, only a few will know, but Bill knows. Most of y'all know I'm heading up the cookbook. I've been asking for recipes, but I did say to Bill and a few others that if we met the round 2 goal, that I would release a recipe of my own for the cookbook.
Ooh.
So I would like to read it on here.
I've got you set up, buddy. Go for it. We're all ready.
Okay, so this is going to be Ryan's game day dip, and I will repost this to Twitter, so no worries. Right. You will need a crock pot for this. So the ingredients are, let me just read them off. It's going to be you're going to need a large brick of Velveeta cheese, 1 small brick of cream cheese. You can use a pound of ground beef, ground pork, or you can use a tube of Jimmy Dean's breakfast sausage. You can use veggie crumbles if you want to keep it vegetarian. You can use 2 small cans of Rotel, or you can substitute with 2 or 3 jalapenos and tomatoes. And you'll need a half a large onion. When you're doing this, I highly recommend using a crock pot liner to save time when cleaning up. Let's see. You're going to cut up the Velveeta and cream cheese blocks into smaller pieces. Put them in the crock pot and set it to medium. You're going to want to brown the meat that you're going to use and add it to the crock pot. Add the Rotel or diced tomatoes and jalapenos to the crock pot. Chop the onion real fine. Add it to the crock pot. Set it to high. Stir every 15 to 20 minutes until the dip is fully melted and smooth. Serve with tortilla chips.
Oh, I wish you were serving it right now.
Sorry.
That sounds delicious.
It's definitely good when the weather gets colder, I will say that. But it's also good if you're a sports fan or if you're just watching movies. So I know a certain Karate Kid series has gotten to Netflix, so y'all can try making some of that while you watch it if you choose to.
Ooh.
Okay, we're fixing it. We've invited the guys, and they should be hopping in here shortly. So
well, Bill, I do have something I did want to show you because you talked about wanting to be a starship captain. So I don't know if you can see this.
I do. I can.
Wait, hold on. There. Can't seem to get it. There we go.
Nice.
So I thought you might appreciate that.
Absolutely. I like that. And yeah, it was kind of, he's referencing a tweet where I said that the first thing I can remember wanting to be when I grew up was a starship captain, and the part of me that hasn't grown up yet still wants that.
Well, you're more Star Trek and I'm more Star Wars. I'd rather have the Millennium Falcon than the Enterprise.
Absolutely. Bobby, Chad, how are you guys doing?
Hey.
Doing all right, man. How you guys?
What's going on?
Brother Bobby.
How you feel? What's going on, bud?
Oh, just hanging, man. Just slowly coming to grips with facing the daunting task of going through all of that footage. Woo.
Well, but you know what? You got 3 seasons out of that?
It's tough to say. But we probably have more than that if we really looked into it.
Right, probably so. So I was thinking, I was thinking the other day that once we start season 2, is it really season 2?
Not really. It's just a continuation.
Right.
It's that to get. It's the second part of that to be continued.
Right.
So
what's going?
Go ahead, Bobby.
No, I was just gonna say, what's going on? How's everybody doing?
Well,
Man, trying to catch up on a little bit of sleep. That shoot out in LA was fast and furious. You know, we shot the whole film in I think 9 days. So you can imagine how much we were working.
I got to tell you, I am excited about the announcements that were made today. I'm excited to see the Love America tour go global. I'm excited to see it become something that's actually going to be on the TV, and I'm excited to see the second part be funded to the point where it doesn't take all of this crazy amount of work to get done. I mean, it's gonna be absolutely terrific.
Yes.
So we got a couple of things going on. I know that one of the things that we were going to talk about with Brian was his love of sci-fi and horror movies. And
all right, man, that's awesome.
So we can cover that a little bit. What's your favorite sci-fi? Well, you just said it was what it was. But...
Who, me or Chad?
All of you.
Start with Ryan.
No, go ahead.
Sci-fi or horror? I would say sci-fi is perhaps what's it? Man, I can't think of the name of it right now. Horror would be Friday the 13th. Sci-fi would be perhaps where they're time travelers. I can't remember. Yeah.
Time Bandits?
Time Bandits, yeah.
Yeah, Time Bandits was out of control. John Carter, that was an unsung hit for me when as far as I'm sorry, I'm hearing reverberation. I'm hearing my own voice coming from his speaker on my. So it's driving me crazy.
Hey, I'm gonna shoot out here then.
No, see, it's just there might be a better way.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot out here.
Okay, cool. Let's see. How does that work? Let's see. There we go. Oh, good. I can't hear myself. Oh, sorry about that, Chad.
I'll be right back.
Oh, you're going to torture me even more?
I'm so sorry.
Oh,
I got it.
Anyway, John Carter was Mars and also the original Stargate feature film. The feature film for Stargate to me was just out of control. I mean, what an amazing sci-fi that was. And it was really underrated. It didn't do very well in the theaters either.
Yeah, but the TV show did excellent.
For a long time.
Yeah. It served me well for the short time I was on it. It was fantastic.
I know I liked it. I binged it all the seasons literally, and I think it was 3 weeks.
I do that.
Oh, yeah,
That's
yeah,
a lot of seasons to
sometimes.
binge.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, for sci-fi, mine has got to be either Stargate or Star Trek. In Stargate, I loved the fact that everybody always had faith in our other team members, and they had this thing that's part of my life, is that we don't leave anybody behind. Star Trek was all about getting to the point where your main focus is the betterment of yourself, self-improvement, and I loved that. As far as horror, I don't really watch a lot of horror because it messes with me, but I think I gotta say, I think The Stand could be considered horror, and I have a love-hate relationship with that, because the reason that happens is, ever since I watched the movie, and I guess there was a psychosomatic response, and I would start to get the flu. And I remember being a medic at Sewell's Point Branch Medical Clinic in Norfolk, Virginia.
Oh wow, Sewell's Point, for real?
Yeah, and reading The Stand, the book, literally, and I caught the flu. I mean, people were coming in, it was a bad flu year, and I caught it, and I had this fever, and in this fevered mind, I was thinking, if I can just get to the end of the book, the flu will go away, and all these people will get better and go home.
Or you would be on the back of the motorcycle with Corin there.
All right, so mine's is interesting, because I was always the guy of two worlds, where there was the Star Trek and then there was Star Wars. And I was always the Star Trek junkie first. Then it didn't change until, I mean, I'm still a Star Trek junkie. It didn't change until I started watching the newer Star Wars that made me go back and watch stuff. But then it was always that daunting question: how is it that Star Trek always go back in time and try to change something where they messed up, but you never see Star Wars go back in time? They never go back in time for nothing. And I keep saying, they never change anything. How come their continuity is the same way? But Star Trek, you just messes up the whole universe. I'm cool. But those are questions. That was the question I've always had. Can we not go back in time? Can we not go touch these wells? Hey, what if we just didn't do this?
So
Star Trek goes back in time?
Star Trek all goes the time. They messed up time. They touch time. I mean,
I didn't know that.
But listen, by the time you get done, there's now 2.0. I'm done. Okay. As for horror, I'm a 70s, 80s baby, so it's the original Nightmare on Elm Street, that whole series. Yeah. That scared the bejesus out of me. I loved it more because Johnny Depp was on it.
Yeah. Ryan, what about you?
So let me just flex a little nerd muscle right quick and say that in the Star Wars series Rebels, they've actually introduced messing with time, so to speak. So I would say go and watch Rebels, and you'll see where they mess with time.
Something else.
Sorry, I just had to tell you. I didn't. You wanted to know, and I sure don't. So
I could have done without that, but okay.
Okay, guys, we also got a special shout out. It is we have a birthday today. It is Julie Walker's birthday.
Happy birthday, Julie.
Happy birthday, Julie.
And I would say we could sing happy birthday to her, but with this crowd, I think it's probably a bad idea. I mean, Bobby Ben is the only musician among us that I'm aware of, the only singer in any case. I know Corin raps.
I can't play a tune in a bucket.
And
all I could do is move actuators, faders, stuff like that.
We gotta get Mose and Bobby to sing at some point.
Yeah, Mose has a good voice.
So
I've actually been talking to Mose. Big shout out to Mose, but I'm supposed to send him my whole library of samples.
It's so funny. I was at work yesterday, and because I work in the senior care department sometimes, and then they said to me, we're really bored. It's about to rain. Can you do something for the younger people here? I'm like, they're not that young, but okay. So I had to reach deep down in my soul and pull out a Frank Sinatra song.
Ooh.
So wait, the look that everyone had was like, he's going to butcher this song. and because I come from a Jewish family, it was so different. My mom would always make me sing Frank Sinatra. So
Yeah.
when my mom would play Mahjong and her girlfriends were all there, whenever her girlfriends was about to lose, they would make me sing One for My Baby, One for the Road.
Oh, nice.
So
Yeah.
so we're sitting there yesterday and I started singing. And someone says, who are you and how do you have a voice like that? So I go, it's 2:45. There's no one in the place except you and me. So set 'em up, Joe. I got a little story I think you should know. We're drinking, my friends, to the end of a brief episode. So make it one for my baby and one more for the road. Every person lost their crap.
Wow.
Everyone was so done. They kept saying, I don't think we need pills tonight. I'm like, okay.
Hey, when a man loves a woman, who sang that? Percy
Sledge?
Yeah, you pulled a Percy Sledge. You know, he was an orderly at a hospital who used to sing to the old folks there.
Yeah, you know, I think it's funny because for me, singing, I started singing first before I became an actor. So it was always the ones that's like, hey, can you sing for us? It's someone's birthday. Hey, can you do this? Or can you sing this song? So because I come from a Jewish family, I wasn't able to do the Run DMC or do any of the normal songs. I had to go Bruce Springsteen, Bon Jovi, AC/DC.
I gotta hear your Bon Jovi, man. I have got to hear the Bon Jovi.
I got to tell you, I want to hear you and Mose collab on something singing.
Totally.
Well, I'm almost certain. I mean, I got so much in my repertoire to sing, and I think the difference for me is like whenever we were on shoots, whenever we were on sets, and I hate dead silence. I can't stand it. So I'll start singing, and then people would join in, and then the director would look over like, "Really? This is what y'all doing?" I was like, "Yeah, well, I'm sorry, we're bored, so let's make it happen." Man, we did that on 21 Bridges. I did 21 Bridges, but I wasn't in it. I was on set as standby, and I'll never forget Chadwick Boseman's there, and they're looking, and he's like, "Oh, I'm happy to join this movie." I said, "No, I'm really not in it. I'm just standby." He said, "Listen, you're not going to be standby forever." He said, "No matter what you do in life," he said, "no matter what you do in life, you're going to do great at it." He said, "So keep doing it." It was like the best moment of my life, not being in a movie. Just to talk to God.
I love it. Yeah, man. What a trip.
I have those moments a lot.
We're starting to get some questions.
You got it. Thank you, Bobby. You got it.
I got something. I don't know what I got. But listen, I think the difference is, and I always tell people this, you know, whenever I put out a text, whenever I put something out, some type of a word or whatever, it comes straight from here. But people always say, how do you do that? Where do you get it from? And I always tell people it's life. I said, you look at life the way you see anything else, but you got to have faith, so much faith that you can conquer anything. And I always tell people when the Love America tour started, I said to Corin on many occasions, don't you dare give up. Just have faith. We got this. And I use so much from me to bring to you guys. And I do it for everyone, especially the Twitterverse.
Yeah, and I appreciate that all very much because you know, it was it was tough getting to the close of round one was you know, it actually took quite a bit out of me. But it was the you know, it was the positivity coming from everybody on the team, Bobby and Ben and Husky and the rest of the crew, Kat and everybody else, and then everybody who was who had joined us on this crazy caravan. You know, it's a great idea. You know what I'm saying? Going out and meeting the average person and finding out about their lives and breaking down the barriers of you know, that have been built up. I think it's a brilliant idea, especially to do it live and on the road. So, um, it's just been such a crazy time. I mean, I've had to kind of back away from my Twitter a little bit because of this job I did and everything like that. It's like I got to refocus sometimes, but I'll be back out there mixing it up with everybody soon enough.
Oh yeah.
I gotta tell you that just seeing where this has gone, I didn't see it getting this big or going this long or doing any of the stuff that it's done when you first started it, Corin. I remember you put out the idea, you put out the GoFundMe. I'm like, well, maybe it'll go. It sounds like a cool idea. I'll go ahead and donate, and I sent a couple bucks that way, and then all of a sudden it was done and happening. Yeah. And then here, and then huge, and that's literally how fast it happened.
Yeah, it was mind blowing.
Yeah, it was.
It was like a Hail Mary pass at the end of the football game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I remember. I think he woke me up that first morning. He's like, dude, we already got 1,400. I was like, what?
Yeah, that was crazy.
And now
my thing was I tried to squeeze in Cameo. So I would always tell people, go to Cameo, go to Corin's page. Because I kept saying, if we could filter anything, even our Cameo, to put into it, it was this. So I would always say, oh, I did a Cameo, and I would send it out and let people say, oh, I'm going to do a Cameo too. So I'm like, all right, cool, more money for Love America tour to buy the stuff that we need. And I remember one of my friends said, first of all, who the hell is Corin Nemec? I had to make him Google. I had to make him Google you. And he said, oh, I remember him. And then that following week, he watched everything you did, and then he donated $100.
Oh, wow, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's super cool.
I tell anyone, I'm going to push what I can. So I'm going to make you go do your homework before you say, I don't know who this cat is. Then by the time you do their homework, they're 110% on board.
There's a bunch of comments and questions coming in from the chat. Actually, there's a lot of people talking about we should start a Love America Tour choir group.
Oh, nice.
That's Leanna, and there's a couple of other folks that I guess Leanna and Lacey sing together often, and there's some folks talking about. I think it was Samantha S and I were talking about getting down the road when we get a convention together, when we get big enough that everybody meets up somewhere. Definitely got to have a karaoke machine there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with it.
And Leanna is talking about, hey, what if you guys want to collab and make a video or some songs? Leanna's talking about, hey, let's do it, let's organize it, let's get a video together, let's put Bobby in it, or
We have to do better. We have to do better than the Imagine video that they put out not too long ago.
Did I see that? I don't remember if I saw that.
Yeah, it was all over TV forever. It was
horrible.
Yeah, it was bad.
I gotta check that out. But yeah, listen, I'm down with it. So trust me, whatever y'all need.
Now we also had a quick question, and this got asked last week, so I'm going to stay out of this because everybody knows mine is Hans Zimmer. But somebody they're asking if we want to just go around, starting with Corin, and then we just go around clockwise, I guess. And what is your favorite music genre and favorite song?
Oh, that's so tough. I mean, I would have to say that, it'd probably be like Bob Marley. Always loved reggae. He's always been one of my favorite artists of all times in any genre, really. But so many good songs. Three Little Birds might be one. That's a fantastic song. But Bob Marley's definitely up there, and almost any one of his tracks will do as a favorite.
Ryan?
It's a toss-up between Bob Seger's Night Moves or You Shook Me All Night Long by AC/DC.
Nice. Chad?
Today I'll feel like Elton John, Tiny Dancer.
Nice.
I like it. Bobby?
Wow. Grant Gustin. Don't shoot me. Grant Gustin. Running Home to You. So, all right.
I gotta look that up. I've never heard of that.
Listen,
Yeah,
Grant Gustin from The Flash. Grant Gustin from The Flash has, and he was on Glee. So he did this song, and I mean, phenomenal. And it's called Running Home to You, or Running Back to You. But it was such it's a good, slow, mellow, nice love song.
Ooh.
And trust me, it's so cool because when I sing it, girls keep saying, "Really? This is where you're at right now?" And I'm like, I take any song that has a nice hook to it that makes you want to keep saying, because now it's looped in your head and it's so stuck. So trust me, when you listen to it, and every woman, every young girl, everyone who's heard this song will tell you this song you're gonna make 4 babies to. I promise.
Okay, guys.
Right.
Real quick, want to let you know that we've hit 8 o'clock, so we've hit our hour. So anything beyond this is gravy. You guys are more than welcome to stay as long as you like. But if you have work tomorrow or it's late where you're at, you can bow out whenever you feel like. Just to put that out there.
Yeah, I've just been missing calls. I've missed a couple of calls from back home, the ex and kid and everything. So I really need to make that call and find out if it's just a general call, if everything's cool. And I could probably sign back on after that.
Awesome. If you want to pop out and make that call, and if it's nothing big and you want to come back, just shoot me a text and I'll shoot you back up.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. I'll text you guys. I'll text you here shortly then.
Awesome.
Hey man, I love you guys, dude. I really hope that that Bobby gets to try some of Ryan's barbecue someday. And
I've seen. I'm actually try that. I've seen the recipe.
Well, he also did some incredible jerky that just was hoovered within.
That recipe goes to the grave with me.
Bro, that jerky was gone in a week, all of it.
Wow.
And he gave us a pretty good amount too, so
it was huge.
Well, listen, no one sent me anything. I'm on board now.
Let me jump off real quick. I love you guys out there, and
see ya.
I hope that I'm back on here in just a couple of minutes, but I'll catch up with all of you really soon.
Awesome.
All right.
Can't wait to see you again, Corin.
Hey man, you too. Peace, brother.
All right, bud.
Bye. Hey, Bill.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna have to call tonight, but before I go, my favorite sci-fi movie is Empire Strikes Back. I know it's part of a trilogy, but it's just my favorite. And then I gotta go with Bobby on this one. The first Nightmare on Elm Street. But let me give the caveat. I also like the very first Halloween, just because it makes you think about the true nature of evil. But if you watch the first Nightmare on Elm Street, Robert Englund, who plays Freddy, says, if you watch it with the thought process is that it's a precognitive nightmare, that Nancy's dreaming all this and it's going to happen, it kind of blows your mind a little bit. At least it did for me when I watched it again.
Really?
So yeah, it's on the.
I never knew that.
I didn't either.
So there's the Never Sleep Again documentary where it has like interviews for everybody that was in every Nightmare on Elm Street, even Freddy versus Jason.
Wow.
So I would say that is a good watch if you want to kill some time. But other than that, all I gotta say is please send me your recipes. PlainSimpleRyan.com PlainSimpleRyan@gmail.com. Bobby, I'd like you to send some recipes as well. You can just send them to me on Twitter if you like.
I got some great recipes.
Okay, if you send me some recipes, I'll send you an early edition of the barbecue rub that I use.
What?
Done.
Bobby, you're spoiled, Bobby.
Done.
Just saying. I'll send it to you too, Chad.
Ah, yes.
So
Not
just
Corin. Corin gets nothing.
Okay. Yeah,
Just real quick.
I'll keep it to myself.
I put up your email address there, Ryan, if you want to go ahead and explain how long we have to get our recipes in. And
Yeah, so I'm accepting recipes up until the end of September. At the end of September, I'm going to stop accepting, and I'm going to go work on the book full time till it's rough draft is completed, and I can send it to everybody to take a look at. So end of September. I don't care if you're in America, outside America. Take appetizers, desserts, main entrees, drink recipes, whatever.
I got asked this today: recipes with alcohol?
Yes.
Both. I thought it was both. Is it both? Yeah.
Yeah. Why discriminate?
Everything.
Exactly.
There you go.
There's great smoothies. Oh my man, you can just do all kinds of great things. People come up with the best ideas with smoothies.
Okie doke. We got a question that's coming in, and Ryan, it was a pleasure to have you. Appreciate it. You stopping in and letting us know. And dude, on Twitter, love the positivity. Love that positivity. I'm going to be looking for ambassadors, and I've got my eye on you for that.
That must be some good clone of me. I'm the Devil's Cabana boy. So
we yeah. Yeah, let's look at those recipes.
I'll have to watch the replay to find out what he said.
I'll say this. Like, I couldn't think of anything for the longest time, but then one night I made what I sent Ryan. I was like, yeah, this is easy. So even if you just have to get online, get a kickstart to your brain, do that. Send some recipes. This is important. So
yeah. Well, good night, everybody. I'll see you on the flip side.
Good night, man. I'll be waiting on that recipe.
Yes, sir.
And then there were two.
Well, then it's down to Chad and I.
Uh-oh. I see a Skittle war coming somewhere.
You know what? You want to hear the funniest thing?
What?
I'm at work yesterday. This guy has Skittles, big bag of Skittles. I'm walking past. Out of the blue, he says, "No Skittles for you." I was like, "What?"
No soup for you?
Don't have no computer. He literally walks past and he says, I'm like, I haven't asked for no damn Skittles. He throws the red one, hits me square in my head. I said, you know what? You're still lucky you're here. And it's so funny because I did say to myself, there's got to be another Skittle war coming. And because at the rate that I'm going, I always keep saying to myself, damn it, now Corin's on the road. I know it could be bigger and better.
Oh, yeah.
So I keep saying, I now have to prepare myself in the back of my head because I don't know what he comes up with. And every time he came up with something, it would make me have to sit a whole day, take off from work, just to think and ponder, how do I get them? And the biggest one I did was the commercial.
Yeah.
All my friends kept looking at me, like all my friends kept saying, how did you pull this off? Where'd you get the resources? Where'd you get the people from? And I say all the time, I have people on deck. Resources are easy. Favors is what everyone owes me. And right. I said, to pull it off and rent out a whole pizza shop, that was it. So I was done. But now I'm scared because
that was genius. You know what? If you get to do something this time, I would say perhaps like a candy store. Oh man, he's frozen. You're frozen in time.
I'm thinking bigger. So
I didn't hear my ability to hear you guys again.
Yeah. There was a slight technical difficulty. So I say candy store. What are you thinking? Super Bowl.
So I said I was thinking candy store in the beginning, but now I have something bigger. I'm thinking I was actually looking to part of my hospital.
Yeah.
And I was gonna go use all of my coworkers with Skittles all day long, T-shirts and everything. And like maybe one floor has Corin floor, another floor has Skittles floor.
Yeah.
When I think of something, I go big. That's why I'm
go big or go home.
Because I'm scared because Corin's gonna go big, and
I'm gonna help. I'll be Switzerland. I'll help both you guys.
Okay, yeah, because it's the way it looks. All my friends keep saying, "Yeah, well, is Corin gonna come back after that commercial?" I said, "Corin actually never came back after that commercial."
You gotta do sour Skittles. You gotta up the ante.
Actually, you know what? It was so funny. It was the dark Skittles. I kept saying,
Yeah.
"What is this? The Justice League Dark?" They were the nastiest Skittles I've ever had.
Yeah. I don't like those. I like the tropicals, obviously, and
Yeah, those.
the originals, and of
Yes,
course sour Skittles.
of course. But I always tell people when it comes to having friends, we have more fun on Twitter than anything else. Jerry O'Connell and I, we do that all the time. So
Yeah.
we'll rag on each other. We'll make fun. So I went to go see a Soldiers play, and Jerry had got me in. It was so cool that, you know, when it comes to you guys or whatever, I'm a big supporter of everything, and I always tell people,
we appreciate that.
dude, I tell anyone, I
Me
can be
too.
an actor, singer, all I want, but I'm a lover of people. So I support everyone because that's how we get our start. That's how our careers keep going.
Yeah, you gotta reach that hand out. You know, you reach it out and pull them. Be like, hey, come with me.
Exactly. So, you know, I think it's different when we look at anything, but, you know, and then I have my moments where I do motivated speaking. So I always talk to people every time, and that makes me feel, I don't know, 110% more than I've ever felt before. So when I'm talking to you guys, I always find something positive to input in every last one before you guys leave. Husky?
Oh yeah.
Hey guys, just real quick, since I
think we
can't
should.
hear
Yeah,
you.
go ahead.
Just real quick, since I can't hear you, Chad, if you would, since your video is better, when you guys get done talking, I've got some questions from the audience. If you just want to raise your hand right quick to let me know to ask them. Okay. Marlene wants to know, well, what have you learned about yourself during the first part of the Love America tour?
Is it?
Yeah, that's to everybody, and I'll ask Corin if he pops back in.
Okay. What have I learned about myself since the first start of the Love America tour? That you can't be shy, or you can't be an introvert and do this. I'm an introvert, so it has brought me out of my shell, so to speak, and I really like it. I've learned a lot about myself and what I'm comfortable with doing and what I'm not comfortable with. So,
for me, I use the first word love, because, you know, without that, you got nothing. I think, and I say this all the time, Corin opened up a great door for a good title, and it reaches everyone.
oh yeah.
Love. And especially right now, we need that more than ever, because the world is so not filled with love right now. It's filled with anger. It's filled with hurt. It's filled with hate. It's filled with so much stuff that you need 4 letters, LOVE, and it'll conquer everything. So this whole tour, it didn't go through makeup. It didn't go through wardrobe. It didn't go through, all right, we're gonna get you in this hotel. No, it went through normalcy. It went through you just talking to people, seeing them in their own environment.
Yeah. And what's ironic about you saying normalcy, it's actually unique in how you would normally do something like this.
Right. Yeah. It's different because you don't see that. You don't have the cameras, the green screen. You don't have the lights everywhere, putting the makeup on. Who hide the pimple? You don't have none of that.
No stabilizer, no, you know.
No nothing. So yeah, I love it. Next question.
Yes, next question.
Okay. I don't see that this is going to get fixed anytime soon, so I'm going to go ahead and pop off with these questions and such, and then whenever you guys are done, kind of wave at me or whatever, and we'll call it a night. But Samuel Mum would like to know if there's any virtual conventions that any of us are a part of. I can tell you I'm not a big enough name to be in any of these virtual conventions. But...
Yeah, neither. Go ahead, Bobby.
For me, I would do Like every time there was a con or something that came on, I would always go with John Wesley Shipp, or I would always find him and always hang out with him during his convention. So, and because it's kind of hard now, I mean, I can't even say when the next time I'm even doing anything right now, because I think I'm more busy than I was.
As for me, I just now got an IMDb page with 1 credit, so yeah, I don't know anything about virtual conventions. I mean, if I get invited to one or whatever, I'll totally do one.
It's worth it. Trust me when I tell you, it's worth it. From all my friends who call me, like, oh, this is different. It's really nice. But the only thing about virtual conventions that I don't like is that the people. I physically need the people. It's like going to a basketball game without people.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So it's kind of like what they're doing now with all this COVID stuff. Baseball game with no people, just the noise. It's Or the backyard DJ sets and stuff like that. It's just
right. So next question. Husky.
Hold on.
I don't really have a whole lot of questions. I did just hear back from Corin. This is going to take him a second. So we'll be back, especially since 3 Alarm Comics says that he's waiting for Chad to finish up so y'all can go eat. So guys, I appreciate you coming. I apologize for the technical difficulties that I can't hear anything, but we managed to get to the end anyway, which is cool. And I will get this headset replaced before Wednesday, and I'll have it fixed. Appreciate you guys coming. If anybody guys want to shout out or
go ahead, Bobby.
No, you go ahead.
I was just going to give a shout out to Mose. We've been talking about collabing. We're definitely planning on doing that. Shout out to my mom, and I guess that's about it. And just good game, guys.
All right. I always, every time I do anything, I always leave people with something positive. So I want to say this. I know 2020 has been a hell of a year, and that's not even in a good way. Yeah. And it's been a hell of a roller coaster. 2020 has brought us down in so many ways, but to piggyback off of something so positive is you. I want you and everyone who's listening here, the sound of my voice, the most important thing is follow your heart, follow your passion, follow your dreams, govern the person you are, but do not let this COVID or everything else has been around to take you down. Stay focused, stay positive, stay hungry, stay humble. If you're going to fail big. Fail big at what you're going to do, but I promise you that failure is going to lift you up so high that when you reach the top, you're going to think of all your failures that got you there. So don't let this year drown you out. It's almost over. And I promise 21 should be a whole lot better.
I hope so. All right. Well, since you did that, I got to do that. I'll just say, I'll say this. Be unpredictable and always be underestimated. That way, whenever you set a goal and achieve it, it means a whole lot more. Not to you, but to the people who underestimated you and tried to, I guess you could say, predict your outcome.
I like that. I'm gonna steal that. Just
you quote it. You just put treasonous DJ under it.
Say no more. Done deal.
Yeah, done job. Thanks everybody, and
you guys have a good night. I will talk to you guys later.
Yes, good game.
Yes, I'm actually trying to get back to finish my Batman.
I gotta go see my boy Scott, so that's gonna be amazing.
All right,
hey, Chad, I'm relying on you. When you guys get done, just give me the signal to kill it, and we'll do that because I can't hear. Yeah. Oh, we're good? All right. Well, thank you guys for coming out. Thank you guys for watching. Sorry about the technical difficulties, but hey, The show must go on, and we will see you Wednesday, 7 p.m. Same bad time, same lat channel.